Today on Public Eye News, a Michigan man is charged with the murder in the 2010 disappearance of his sons. But first, the state of Michigan returns a relic from the Edmund Fitzgerald to the man who says he found it.
Dylan Dubé will have your weather forecast for the next couple of days. Later, he'll also have today's sports breakdown. I'm Luke Niddle.
And I'm Bianca Kroll, and this is Public Eye News. A rare relic from the Edmund Fitzgerald is being given up by the state of Michigan. Larry Orr in 1975 had found one of the life rings from the Fitzgerald and a piece of a lifeboat on the shore in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, which gave him an eerie feeling. 50 years later, Orr was talking to the Michigan State Police to settle a lawsuit accusing Lieutenant David Buscecka of sexual abuse. Orr had spent 5 months in jail and was placed on house arrest until charges were dropped in 2019. So where does the life ring tie in? The state had suddenly expressed interest in the life ring and were making negotiations with Orr and his attorney Shannon Smith. The agreement would give Orr the life ring back and to close the police misconduct lawsuit against him. The Michigan Veterans Affairs Agency, or MVAA, has created a mobile application to help out veterans and those transitioning service members. This application is set to help with navigating their earned benefits and resources. The MI Veteran app will help provide quick access to support and services that the MVAA offer in person through the mobile app. It will also showcase the opportunities Michigan has for the veterans, such as work, raising a family, continuing their education, and retirement. Director of MVAA Brian Love said this shows the ongoing advancement to help service veterans. The MI Veteran app is available for free on any mobile app on the App Store and Google Play Store.
The Michigan Department of Agriculture and Rural Development, or MDARD, has discovered a case of bovine tuberculosis in beef cows from Presque Isle County. The tuberculosis was found during an annual surveillance test and is the second case discovered in the entire state of Michigan since the start of the year. Bovine tuberculosis is more commonly found in white-tailed deer in the northeastern lower areas of Michigan, specifically in designated tuberculosis zone counties of Alcona, Alpena, Montmorency, and Oscoda. According to the Center for Disease Control, those who spend a prolonged amount of time around bovine tuberculosis-infected cattle are at a higher risk of being infected, but most of the general population is at a very low risk. And the Michigan Strategic Fund Board has allocated their fiscal year of 2026 budget as approved by the Michigan State Legislature earlier in October. The main focus of the budget is continuing to grow the state economy through the Make It in Michigan program, backed by the Michigan Economic Development Corporation. Notable points from the budget include training and educating just under 6,000 workers and around 1,500 interns to then place in jobs, allocating approximately $2.75 billion for small businesses, and helping around 2,000 new businesses start up. Alongside strengthening in-state economic opportunities, the MEDC continues to richen export sales into Michigan, helping to facilitate approximately $5 billion in export sales. And after a 43-day shutdown, parts of the federal government are returning to normal. And the Trump administration is rewarding some government workers who stayed on the job despite not getting paid. CBS News' Jared Hill has more from New York.
For the first time in weeks, Smithsonian museums, the U.S. Capitol, and national parks are welcoming visitors. Federal workers back on the job after the longest government shutdown in U.S. history.
Happy to be back in office and see the people in the streets and see the city life again.
The White House says more than 1 million federal employees who were not paid will start receiving back pay as early as Sunday.
I hope we can all agree that the government should never be shut down again.
Nearly 2 days since President Trump signed the bill to reopen the government, some are questioning if the fight, which Democrats say was over health care subsidies, was worth it.
They didn't really win what they wanted to win, so why causing all this pain?
Food aid could start flowing as soon as today for the 42 million Americans on SNAP. At the nation's airports, the journey to normal likely to spill into the weekend.
It's cleared up, so thank God for that.
It's important that the government does their job.
The FAA paused flight reductions at 6% instead of ramping up to 10%, with the shutdown now over. Meanwhile, Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem says TSA agents who went above and beyond will get a $10,000 bonus.
They're going to get a bonus check for stepping up, taking on extra shifts, for showing up each and every day.
President Trump has also suggested bonuses for the air traffic controllers who worked without pay while the government was closed. Jared Hill, CBS News.
Now don't touch that dial. Dylan will be back with your weather report after this break.
Coming up this week on High School Bowl, we have 2 games, each of which has a new team for us. In our first matchup, Kearney NATO returns to take on Holy Name. Hi, I'm Jim Koski, and then in our second matchup, we welcome Crystal Falls Forest Park to the show as they take on Kingsford. That's coming up this week, 2 brand new teams on High School Bowl.
Welcome to your weather forecast. I'm Dylan, here to break down the conditions. Taking a look at the roof cam, it's sunny, the sun's starting to shine, hit all those students walking to Jamrich. And taking a look at the UP, it is sunny everywhere. It's 50 degrees in Houghton, 57 in Ironwood. It's gonna be 55 in Iron Mountain, a little bit cooler in Menominee with a temperature of 52 degrees. Taking over on this side of the map, it's gonna be 51 in Escanaba, kind of chilly in Manistee, even chillier in the Sioux with a temperature of 45 degrees and 51 degrees in our lovely Marquette. Taking a look at conditions, it's going to be south-southeast. The winds are coming from at 12 miles per hour, and our barometric pressure is 29.88 inches and falling. Tonight, the temperatures are going to be clear. Those clouds are going to start to move out. We're going to have a low of 43 degrees, and our winds are going to be coming from the south-southwest at 15 miles per hour, and our moon phase is going to be a waning crescent. Tomorrow, those clouds are going to start to come in and rain on everybody. We're going to have a high of 48 degrees and a low of 32, and our winds are going to be coming from the west-northwest at 20 miles per hour. And then taking a look into the next part of our week, it's going to be 37 and 29 on Sunday. Those clouds are going to sort of stick around for a little while. On Monday, it's going to be a high of 37 and a low of 27, and that sun's going to start to peek out again. And on Tuesday, we're going to have a high of 39 and a low of 27. Those conditions relatively the same. That's all I have for weather. Back to the desk.
Thank you, Dylan, for that weather report. It looks like the sun is still trying to shine through. Now moving into statewide news. A Michigan man is charged with the disappearance of his 3 sons in 2010. John Skelton was having Thanksgiving with his sons, Andrew, Alexander, and Tanner. Skelton and Tanya Zevers were married at the time and were having problems, then lived apart in November 2010. The boys were supposed to return with Zevers after the holiday, but were gone. Countless searches were conducted in the woods and waters of Michigan. Police said that Skelton had led them in a string of lies about the boys' whereabouts. Detective Lieutenant Jeremy Brewer said that he had no doubt that Skelton killed his sons. Skelton will face 3 counts of murder and tampering with evidence in the deaths of his 3 sons. Chicago civil rights leader Jesse Jackson is hospitalized with a rare neurological disorder and has been receiving around-the-clock care. The civil rights leader was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease about a decade ago. Thursday, Jackson had remained in the care of the Chicago Hospital for the Progressive Subnuclear Palsy, or PSP, a neurodegenerative disorder. He has been reported in stable condition. The Rainbow and Push organization had thanked those who sent well wishes and prayers for Jackson. He suffered symptoms that were consistent with Parkinson's, and doctors confirmed the PSP diagnosis. After disclosing the information in 2017, Jackson still has continued to make public appearances. Jackson has started using a wheelchair and is getting continued care from his family. A handful of Republicans have joined Democrats in supporting a bill that would require the release of the Justice Department's files on convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. The House is expected to vote on that as early as next week. President Trump has repeatedly called the scandal a Democratic hoax. Natalie Brand has the latest from the White House.
Not political. This is not a partisan issue. The sexual abuse of children and young women is in no way partisan.
Annie Farmer, who says she was abused by Jeffrey Epstein when she was 16, told CBS News why she wants the Justice Department to release all of its files on the case.
This trickle of information is really difficult, right? We're just asking for the full files to be released so we don't have to continue to live, in this roller coaster world.
Members of the House Oversight Committee this week released more than 20,000 pages of documents provided by Epstein's estate. A CBS News review reveals President Trump's name appears hundreds of times, including Epstein saying that he'd, quote, met some bad people, none as bad as Trump. And in one text exchange, someone whose name was redacted wrote to Epstein, "It will all blow over. They're really just trying to take down Trump and doing whatever they can to do that." Epstein replied, "Yes, thanks. It's wild because I am the one able to take him down." President Trump, who has denied any wrongdoing, again this morning called it a hoax pushed by Democrats and criticized some Republicans for falling into their clutches.
I've talked to many of the women, and the women themselves have said that Donald Trump did nothing wrong.
Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene is among the Republicans supporting a House vote that would compel the Department of Justice to release all the Epstein files.
The American people deserve to see transparency from their government.
That effort got the final signature it needed this week when a new Democratic Congresswoman was sworn in. A full vote on the House floor is expected next week. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
Stick around. After this short break, Dylan will be back with a sports report you won't want to miss.
I will travel anywhere in the world to seek justice.
If you're willing to fight, I can give you the ammunition.
They're all coming for you.
You've just challenged a killer.
I've been wrong before.
It's a war, and in a war, everyone has their part to play.
You're playing a dangerous game, boss.
Let them come and go in the darkness, and we will hunt them in the light.
Welcome back to sports. It is me, Dylan, and kicking things off with some basketball. Northern Michigan women's basketball is gearing up for the future with 6 new signees set to join the Wildcats for the 2026-27 season. The class brings a balanced mix of height, skill, and academic strength, starting with 6-foot forward Taylor Gifford, a versatile scorer and rebounder from Wisconsin with multiple all-conference and defensive honors. Illinois guard Addison Fanta adds championship experience and an impressive record of leadership and community involvement. And Wisconsin point guard Ali Jersa brings a strong all-around game after averaging double-digit scoring with high assist and steal numbers, backed by a 3.97 GPA. Smart. Michigan center Izzy Ivazaj provides interior dominance as a record-setting shot blocker and rebounder with a long list of leadership roles. And 2 sports standout Tegan Schoenecker boosts the class with her 19.6 per game and state championship pedigree in soccer. Rounding out the group is Ohio native Claire Van Dam, a 6'3" post player who averaged a double-double and earned multiple all-region honors. Together, this class sets the stage for a strong and competitive future in Marquette. And moving from the hardwood to the pitch, as action kicks off in Allendale, the 5th-seeded NMU squadron are battling top-seed Grand Valley State in the GLIAC semifinals, looking to extend a postseason surge that's arrived right on cue. NMU entered the matchup riding a 5-game unbeaten streak and 3 straight clean sheets, highlighted by a standout performance from seniors captain Hannah Kestamo and Kenna Alexander, both fresh off all GLIAC honors and both scoring in Tuesday's 2-0 upset over Ferris State. The Wildcats face a massive challenge against the 6th-ranked Lakers, who have won 8 straight and allowed just 3 goals in that stretch while sweeping the conference's major postseason awards. GVSU took both regular season meetings, but NMU finding its rhythm, locking in defensively, and getting the production from Kestamo, Alexander, and Madison Bilbia, their semifinal ended in a tragic 0-4 loss for the Wildcats. And crossing over to men's soccer, 4 Northern Michigan men's soccer standouts are being celebrated this week, as Alessandro Cialanga, Luca Rosen, Asaf Cristal, and Ian Weimer all earned all-GLIAC recognition after powering the Wildcats through a historic season. Senior captain Alessandro Cialanga anchored the backline with relentless consistency, logging heavy minutes and contributing on set pieces on his way to first-team defender honors. Junior transfer Luca Rosen exploded during conference play, leading the GLIAC in goals, points, and shots to earn a first-team at-large selection. In net, Asaf Cristal made a massive first-year impact, breaking multiple NMU records while leading the league in shutouts and saves to secure an honorable mention. Rounding out the group is sophomore Ian Weimer, who emerged as a late-season difference maker, finishing second on the team in goals and earning his own honorable mention nod. With momentum building and 4 leaders earning conference recognition, the Wildcats now turn their attention to the GLIAC semifinals, where they just won in overtime 2-1 with a goal from Ian Weimer. That's all I have for sports. Back to the desk.
Thank you, Dylan, for that sports report. And that's all the time we have at Public Eye News. I'm Bianca Kroll.
I'm Luke Niddle.
We'll see you next week.
The preceding program was produced by WNMU-TV, Northern Michigan University Public Television, in studios located in Elizabeth and Edgar Hardin Hall.